Ladies and gentlemen, listen, we want to wish a happy belated Mother's Day to all the mothers out there from the Uncensored Podcast. Hope everybody had a wonderful and joyful Mother's Day. Hope y'all ate a lot, got some presents, maybe got some Mother's Day peen.
I was hoping that Slab was going to out on our page, but he didn't. And I didn't want to be narcissistic and shout the women out for ourselves, but it's okay. We didn't get shout out on our page. It's okay now.
On what page?
On our Insta page.
I
thought about it.
I was thinking about sending a text message,
I mean, that's cool, but, you could have shouted the mothers out on the Uncensored page.
Did y'all have a good Mother's Day?
I did. I got some beautiful flowers.
That shit never worked.
I didn't. No, it wasn't that great.
Why?
It could have been a lot better.
Thank you. I told you to come over.
Well, that wasn't. After the fact, I wish I did because maybe it wouldn't have been as bad for me. But for some reason, usually in school, Noah can make me a card or he'll come back from his dad's with a card for me, especially when his grandparents were here. His grandmother always made sure I had some kind of gift or something like that. But no, he didn't make one this time. So he was he was talking all this buku stuff about how technically he can do it himself or whatever, get the gift himself, and his dad don't have to give him the money or anything like that. But then he comes in here yesterday empty-handed, half asleep, like he was just asleep on the way here. And his dad said that it was his fault because he forgot the card when he went out or whatever. But for some reason, y'all, when I'm telling you that shit, I just started crying. Like, I'm getting emotional a little bit thinking about it right now. And I never would think that I would be that emotional over it, but it's like a whole bunch of other stuff on top of it. Like, the one thing that I needed was for my son to give me something or to acknowledge me or whatever. And it's just, I mean, I don't think his dad at the time, I don't think because he doesn't care about that kind of stuff. If it was Father's Day and he ain't get nothing, he wouldn't care. But I think I was telling him today that I think that because you don't care, you thought that I would just be like, but I said it took so much for me not to cry in front of you. But when he left, I had to go in the closet because I didn't want Noah to think I was mad at him about the situation because I didn't want to put all that on him. But I mean, I gotta look at mother's stuff. My mom is not here, so that's like a lot. And only days that really bother me is Christmas and Mother's Day for some strange reason.
I can hear you on the Noah thing because I think at a certain age, but I also think it's important for his father to kind of start teaching him what it is to celebrate people, because I was never a big gift giver, but I don't want Anissa to be like that, and she's already like that. We're like, not with just me, but anybody, her friends, so I'm trying to start teaching her about giving gifts and why they're important, some people like that, and some people need that, that recognition in that way. So I was saying low-key stuff like, you're not doing nothing anyway. And then it was like, what you talking about? But just kind of pushing that, because I do want her to recognize me, because I worked my ass off for her. But I want her to know. And that's what I know she knows, but her getting me flowers, was simple. The flowers were beautiful. And I was like, those that in the card. And the fact that, but it was kind of she was like, well, I just don't know. And she know her dad ain't always the most responsive person. So she did invite her aunts and stuff too, can you help with putting some type of surprise with me? So just starting to get her to start thinking about doing stuff for her best friend's birthdays and for her family members that she's close to, and start thinking about why, because I will forget birthdays of some of my closest friends. So, and I used to get cursed out by my friends. Like, oh my God, it's a big deal. I still love you, but not knowing. Listen, I mean,
yeah, I'm bad with dates.
When I tell you, I had one of my guy best friends stop talking to me in college for about 6 months because I forgot his birthday, and I started to realize that other people are not like me, so I have to start being and taking care of those friendships that I really value and relationships. So I'm not the best gift giver still, but I something I'm working on, and I'm trying to my daughter is so much like me, it's ridiculous, but I'm trying to start creating that for her so she can know how important they are. Like I always make her birthday a big deal, but I'm a mom. It's different, I guess. But
Yeah. I think he definitely realized that after the fact, because when I saw him today, he said that he thought about it and that he realized that Noah has to, learn to be. And because I even told Noah before he went away this weekend that I said, I'm going to be the one that's going to teach, that's going to make you like that, because your dad isn't that type of person. So, I mean, like, so that's where I give him a
Grace,
little
yeah.
bit of that. But Noah just got a very little bit of my being upset too, because he was talking
Right.
mad
Like,
shit, talk about he could do this and he could do that, but then he forgets, and then he's like, I'm like, the least you could have done was come in here and been like, I forgot your card, but gave me a hug and say Happy Mother's. That probably would have been fine. That would have been fine with me, because I'm not expecting anything extravagant from him, but just to acknowledge me, because I'm like, you're the reason why I'm a mother. And that's the least I
right,
could have gotten was that. And I got a text from him in the morning, like it was from any random
right,
person.
right. We get a million texts. You
I'm
ever get
like,
a whole
this
bunch of
kid,
Mother's Day texts from
right?
numbers you don't know? You're like, who the fuck is this? You be like, thank you. Because you don't want to say, who is this? But I definitely got a
Exactly.
few text messages from numbers I did recognize or even had a thread from. So I'm like, then I don't even know who you are.
I got some COVID texts from random
Oh,
numbers.
really?
I mean, sometimes you just can't let people in.
Well, I'm glad
Oh
everybody
Lord.
had a great Mother's Day. Over the weekend, we had another wonderful battle. It was a soulful battle. I felt like I could have just got my car and just probably drove to, I don't know, maybe Virginia or something. That's
Virginia,
the vibe.
the racist me. Well, that's
No,
West Virginia. My
not
bad.
the racist part of Virginia.
Okay, got you.
The nigga part.
No, you mean drove to it so you could
No,
listen
no,
to it
no.
on the way there
You
and
don't
back?
never like you don't never listen to a song that just make you wanna like drive like yeah. So
Oh
that was
yeah,
the
yeah.
vibe that it was on. Like you could just drive, listen to some good music. You know what I'm saying? You might have somebody in your car or whatever. Good conversations. That's just the vibe that shit was on. Um,
Right.
yeah, so I heard somebody say it wasn't a battle. Yeah, I didn't look at it as a battle, even though when Erykah Badu played the first song, and then Jill Scott played the
Harvey,
remix of the song she
not even
wrote
a,
that Erykah Badu did, I was like, oh shit, like
but it was needed.
it was
But you
needed.
know why
Oh,
I
it
didn't?
was
You wonder why I didn't feel like a battle? And I think you the one gotta go, right? So we're used to kicking something off, and it's always really hard, right? Because we're not
Mm-hmm.
artists is horrible, right? It's so hard trying to say who is better when you're both great in their own way. So I like that we're calling it a battle, but I like that it wasn't to me competitive and it just made you like it was like a feel good, like even like me and my girlfriend, we was on house party, so we was watching it together. I was smoking, like
That's how we was too.
it was just like a vibe. And it was but it reminded like T-Pain and Lil Jon, I didn't feel like they was battling either
no.
though. I just think they was talking shit, but I didn't think they were bad. I felt like it was two
No,
DJs
no,
going back and
I
forth
felt like they was battling a little bit.
a little
I,
bit, but not like how the Scott Storch that one and Manny Fresh where that there was tension in it and all that. There was no tension with these ladies. Like they've kissed before. Like
well,
let's be clear.
Manny Fresh had to
They
make it
kissed
that way
before.
Yes, yeah.
They did.
because Manny Fresh really didn't have a chance against Scott Storch. Like,
And he's Scott Storch's cocky as fuck.
but see, the thing is, again, Manny Fresh only has one genre of music, whereas
Right.
Scott Storch do rap, R&B, pop. He do all that shit. So he played all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it was a battle, but Manny Fresh got his.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I'm not gonna say Manny Fresh got his ass whooped because Manny Fresh didn't play a few hits that he should have played. Like I don't know how niggas forget the hits that they got. Like I would have went through my whole catalog and went whatever was Cash Money's 20 top #1 hits. That's what I would have played. He played
This
like
is what I
4
was
songs
saying.
niggas didn't know.
I want to say about Erica, like there was a couple songs that she didn't play from her mixtape. She could have played one song from the mixtape Telephone. I don't even know if that's the name of the mixtape, but that's one of my favorite mixtapes for her. That mixtape album, whatever it is, got some music on there, and I'm so mad she did not even touch that album mixtape, whatever.
That shit was long too. I'm like, these niggas.
And that
these
was
niggas played a whole
long.
song.
I thought they usually do 10. I thought they do 20 songs. If you think about,
they
total,
did do
like
a lot
10
of songs.
and 10.
So they played a lot of songs.
They did 20 songs.
I don't think they
somebody
did.
posted the list of the songs.
They got off and came back on.
They did.
No, they never got off. It never got off.
No, somebody posted a list. Somebody posted a list of the songs that they played.
Let me tell you this right now.
I
watched it from the beginning. There's no way they played 20 songs because there's songs that Jill did not play at all, and I was like, what?
They
played
20
songs. The songs on the list.
Songs.
They weren't doubled up. They played 20 songs for real.
Listen. No, listen.
Let me read you this.
I'm looking at the list right now. It was 38. It was 38
yeah, that's
songs played. 38 songs played, yo.
I ain't feel like it was 38 songs.
So they played 19.
Yeah, so it was 38 songs played. Yeah, so they was 2 off from being 40.
It didn't feel like that. She played a lot of stuff that I did not. She did not. There was a whole bunch of songs that she did not play that I wanted her to play. Both of them. So I'm like, where the fuck?
Yeah, both of them did it. Yeah, because they took like Jill. If Erykah Badu didn't ask her to play, for her to do something again after she played that song about her, this is the last song for the night. She played it as her last song. The Erykah Badu was like, "Can we play 2 more?" And then she played The Way. Unless they tried to set it up like a concert, I'm like, how she ain't played The Way the whole time? Because you know how they set the concert up for them to do an encore.
How that wasn't? I don't know.
That should have been in the beginning. Jill Scott was playing songs.
That has.
Like
song number
way
15.
before they.
Like, you know what I mean?
I am gonna say
she because even Window Seat, Erykah didn't play that until she said, "Can we do it again?" I was like, "What is going on?"
If you think about it, they did play it like a concert. But that's what I'm saying. They did play it like a concert because they played a lot of songs that if you're not a real fan, you wouldn't know. They played a lot of songs that they love, that they have a connection to, which is good. Like, there's some people who are album listeners, like they listen to a whole album. So there's a couple songs that I know, like Crown Royal, I knew, but not
if you
like
if
as
they
much as they
Crown
should.
Royal, they're not a Jill Scott fan. If they don't know Crown Royal,
I agree.
Not a Jill Scott
but
fan.
if you just, but it's a lot of. I'm not going to say that because there's some people. You're right. You're not a Jill Scott fan.
Crown Royal on Ice.
But
not like that because you're gonna have to hear the album. That and Ja Re Fa So Mi So La, whatever that song. That's definitely you gonna have listened to her album.
But I'm just saying, like, there was a lot of songs that they both played. That
even like
a lot of
you're not a Jill Scott fan and you hear Rolling Hills, you're not gonna know that song.
Yeah,
that's my shit.
I bet she play Shame. That's my shit.
Shame. Yeah, Shame. I love that.
That
song
is like.
too. It make you want to be like.
We got a lot of into it. So we got a lot of we got coming on into a lot of Jill Scott songs.
You could do the whatchamacallit today. Wobble.
Well, we have another
same beat.
Hold up.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. There was a whole bunch of songs. So they did play it like it's a concert where it was like you started off on fire. But I think Erykah played more songs that people knew a little bit more than Jill Scott. We like I don't want to say commercial, but more commercialized songs. If that makes sense. You know what I mean?
I like when Jill played The Way. And then Erykah Badu came back with Tyrone. I knew Tyrone was coming. I don't know when it was coming, but I felt like that part was definitely needed.
That's when it got cut off because Jill started playing Tyrone for her.
Yeah.
And then she got back on and they played 2 more songs, I think.
So the new
I thought that was cool that I was saying to my friends, I was like, she could just play it for her.
Oh yeah.
And then she was like, here it goes.
So the new battle is gonna be Nelly versus Luda.
I'm a little upset about that. Like, that's cool, but I think there's some people that can go before them. I don't do Nelly got that many songs. Luda got some shit.
So look, Nelly.
Well, I don't know if y'all listen to TRPE yet, but they had a
Nelly
whole
got
argument
7
about
albums.
He did.
Luda got 9. Nelly got 14 top 10 hits. Luda got 18. Nelly came out in 93. Luda came out in 98. Nelly got 20. Ludacris got 17.
Really?
Now, I don't think all Nelly awards is with him. I think some of his shit is with other rappers
like
or other
and
people
stuff.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Ludacris has more features than Nelly though. Like Ludacris is on like every song.
In that one album, I can't remember what album that was. What's the name of the album? He went dominant, but Country Grammar went dominant.
Country Grammar.
I don't care about nobody. I really want Diddy to go against somebody. I don't know who, but I need Diddy to go against somebody. I'm sorry, Bad Boys versus somebody.
I think Diddy is. You know,
we talked about it, but they
that's definitely gonna happen.
That has to happen.
That's gonna be like a big, Diddy. So that shit gonna be a build up. It's gonna be something crazy. They said it's gonna be against Dr. Dre, but that's gonna be a crazy build up. That's gonna be.
I'm sorry,
But Luda and Nelly, I kind of think that's almost it's kind of even.
Yeah.
Nelly got a lot of summer back. Fucking Hot in Here played for a long time. Hot in Here played for a long.
I feel like even longer than Lean Back. Hot in Here is still a song you could play, especially you won't hear that on vacation. No. On any island, especially in Cancun, you know they're gonna play it.
You're gonna hear "Move, Bitch, Get Out the Way" for sure.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna hear that. So it's gonna be. So this is the thing about this battle. It's gonna be how they place their songs. Whoever go first, right? They gotta be real strategic on every song that they play because they both got hits. We already know "Hot in Here" ain't gonna get played towards the end. EI gonna get played towards the end.
Flap Your Wings.
Even though he had that fucking country song, "It's All in My Head."
Oh yeah, I did like that song.
Oh yeah,
no,
that was recent, wasn't it?
That was.
I mean, like
no,
that was in like the past 5 years, wasn't it?
That was that was early.
All I'm saying is these battles is bringing and keeping the music right now and like the good music that we missed and that we love in the forefront. But I'm enjoying these battles. It definitely makes the night a fun night. And you know what I did with me and my sister?
I'm looking forward to it.
We did so we were on a house party and we did a battle. So my sister, we both had to pick a group. I picked SWV and my sister picked Escape, and we battled each other song for song. So this is a fun thing that you can do with your friends. And we did it over a house party, and then my cousins, they all had piece of papers, and then they hold up who they thought won that round. So we didn't wait until the end. It was round for round, song for song. But it was low key, and then we were just jamming and we was talking shit in between about what those songs meant to us. Like, dude, you remember? Oh my God, I played this when I broke up with my dude. So it was a good time. I know we in this quarantine, so finding ways to entertain yourself and do stuff. It was something fun. So I would definitely encourage people to do battles with different artists. It's fun. It was a good time.
Well, speaking of battles, there's another battle that's going on Twitter. Real quick, Tekashi and Meek Mill.
I'm glad you brought this up because I was going to bring this up.
Let me tell you something, right? This how I feel. But I need to
not even entertain him.
This how I feel about this whole era that we're living in right now. We have young kids who don't really understand, and I'm not big on the no snitching part, especially if somebody's murdered. I'm not big on that. Like when you say we no snitching and all.
Right, and I need he has a different platform now.
You got certain people who grew up in an era where, all right, if I did it, I gotta do the time. You know what I mean? Like Bobby Shmurda, he ain't do no telling. You know what I'm saying? But the kids, this era is so different where they glorify Tekashi. They glorified
Everything.
Tekashi, and they was killing Meek on Twitter, and I'm like, Meek is trying to get niggas out of jail. Him and Jay-Z just got the CEO of Twitter to donate $10 million to their reform program. And y'all bashing this nigga because he talking about niggas that's snitching and ratting and, people that just not, about something positive. They was killing, they was the fucking 6ix9ine, his little crony was just, trying to kill Meek on Twitter. So back in the day, and I'm talking about in the 80s, in the 80s, you couldn't, they didn't glorify those snitches and fucking Harlem and all that shit.
But that's why I'm mad that Meek is even bringing and giving him attention.
But see, it's so hard for a street. It's hard for a street nigga to ignore that.
But if you are going where you're going, right, and don't glorify snitching, right? But in the same breath, you know what I mean? I feel like Meek took 2 steps there. When he goes in his bag and starts going back and forth with Nicki, this was you don't, and like he said, you got a baby right now. Don't focus on that, and don't even give, me, I'm not giving these little kids nothing to talk about, and you giving him even something to stand on for people to even come at him. So I'm all for what Meek is doing, but I feel like even giving Tekashi any type of recognition don't even give him that. Don't even allow him to have no screenshots of you, nothing. Don't allow him to even have it.
But it's hard.
It's hard, but now you looking crazy. You know what I mean? He had to post and delete.
No,
Meek did post and delete. He did.
He only looking crazy to Tekashi fans. You gotta understand, Meek and fucking Nipsey was really, really close. Not really close, but that was his man. And Nipsey was killed by a rat. So you gotta understand, his position. Nipsey was killed by a rat. Y'all fucking glorifying one. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel no type of way that Meek said something. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel no type of way.
I just know sometimes we can't get into
We need to find this shit out. Because I heard something today that it fucking blew my mind. I don't know how true it is. Who on their laptop? Someone on their laptop? That Tekashi is signed under Roc Nation. Now I hope that's not true. Yeah, can I just put in Roc Nation? Tekashi record label? It can't be. There's no way that's true. I mean,
I don't even like this hair.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now that's gonna be interesting.
14 hours ago, did Jay-Z sign with Roc Nation? Let me see. Bring this up here.
It's impossible for that to be for him to. That's impossible because Meek with Dream Chasers, but he under Meek under Roc Nation too.
Mm. I think right.
Well, this doesn't really come. So somebody had a plane's head on.
We don't know if it's true.
I know what is true. I know.
But they said it's unclear. It's still. It's
fucking no way Jay-Z will have anything to do with that. No way. There's no way. I don't see it. Jay-Z. I would look at Jay-Z a whole lot different if that was the case, that he's under Roc Nation. But I doubt it. You just don't put somebody like that.
You know what I had to do, and I know I had to unfollow the Shade Room. The Shade Room. I had to unfollow them. And the only reason why I followed the Shade Room was because they started doing the podcast. I keep up and up and that shit. But they make me mad. Stop posting, because if you think about it, that negative attention Shade Room right now gets to almost everybody. Those blogs. Don't stop giving it. I just don't want to see Tekashi all on my timeline. I don't want to see the Kardashians all on my timeline.
That's how they get paid, though.
I know, but I can't. So I had to unfollow them. I did. I had to unfollow them. I had to.
But
I
you,
had to.
but at the
Because
end of
the
the day,
shade room it's not
Tekashi
enough
just
good
being a
information coming from the shade
businessman.
room no more.
Tekashi being a businessman right now. That's all. At the end of the day, he's
It's
being
not
a
what.
businessman because
Right. So
you
that's what
got
I'm saying. He right now he's using like my thing is like this is what I'm saying. Like I don't want to be
using that platform,
making
use that negative
right.
platform.
So using Meek right now is good publicity. So yeah. So that's why I was saying like I don't want Meek to even feed into that because
The
you're
nigga
putting money in
had
that nigga pocket by even speaking his name. Don't
nigga
speak
had
his name.
2 million
But it's
viewers.
different. The culture is different. But the thing about it is
All he
the
do is
culture is
yell
different.
on
These
these. I don't
kids
even
are
understand
all
why somebody
like
listen to
we
him.
still don't listen to artists off of YouTube. I don't use YouTube at all to listen to music. So like for me, if there's an artist on YouTube,
I
I'm
do.
like, oh, I didn't know. So I feel like that's not even in our like in our time. So these young artists can go on YouTube and do 2 million because all the kids are on YouTube. It's different, but the bottom line is the longevity. How long is Tekashi going to be able to do this? So at the end of the day, have your 5 minutes. But I think what's happening in music in general, they had their 5 minutes, but their 5 minutes are we're not getting artists and music that's lasting long. That can go through a couple of eras. So it's cool. He gonna be up, but he's not gonna be up just like Blueface was hot for 2 seconds. All them other artists I can't even think of their names were hot for a couple minutes. So it's great because the thing about the great thing is you talking to the youth, but the youth don't have the attention span or the love of music that we did.
Right.
So you're not going to get paid like they still get paid to play old ass Erykah Badu albums. Tekashi not gonna get played in a couple years. You see what I'm saying? So you gotta like Meek can't ruin his reputation. And I get what you're saying. Like the street people, Philly people are going to say Meek is doing, but we gotta also understand that everybody is not that got that Philly mentality. So I don't want him to start giving this little. I don't want to say something racist, but you know what I mean. Even any energy, like no, don't even give him nothing to even be tweeted about or nothing. Like, but I get it.
Yeah, sometimes
I have a different mindset.
Sometimes things is just it's hard to ignore. I get what Meek. I get his standpoint and I understand it. Like you said though, sometimes when you have a platform like that, like with Hov, Jay-Z never really comment on shit. Like he rarely does. I mean, he comment on his Kaepernick shit because he could prosper from it as well. You know what I mean? But Meek, like you said, Meek is in my eyes and a lot of people's eyes, he's above Tekashi. So why would you even talk about this peasant?
Right, he's a
why would you even talk about this peasant? But sometimes it's that one motherfucker that might get under your skin, and sometimes you can't. You know what I mean? You gotta say something. So I'm not a Tekashi fan. It's not that I'm a hater. I listen to some of his music, but it's just like I feel like all he do is
especially when you high.
I just feel like all he do is fucking yell.
No, I'm talking about me talking shit when
you listen
high.
to it when you
he
high.
Open up a couple
Tekashi.
So, like,
Kashi, we don't fuck with you right here on the Uncensored show.
Definitely, I don't even know his songs. So
I heard some of this shit. It's bullshit.
I thought he was white, so somebody told me he was actually Mexican.
Me
either.
But that's enough about him.
2 other people that we don't fuck with on the Uncensored podcast in the world. Those 2 racist crackers in fucking Georgia who shot
that video was so crazy to watch.
And this is my thing. I'm not promoting violence and you murdering people. I ain't promoting that. But all I know is George Zimmerman is still alive. And then you got,
because if we do it, we get locked up. So it's
no. Listen, you got when black people kill other blacks, they go to jail for a long ass time. Yeah, you got that black on black crime. Yeah, you got black on black crime, but when black people kill other black people, they not coming home. They not coming home. When white people kill black people, They get third-degree manslaughter, some fucking community service, and then you home scot-free.
Right.
This nigga was jogging. I've never seen. Look, now we seen smokers. We know smokers who
he was just running. His whole attire was like I was going out for a run.
Yeah, he wasn't even running.
He was doing a regular,
like he was
boop, boop, boop.
running from something. He was running like he was jogging. Yeah, they had footage somebody provided from somebody's camera on their house where they could see.
He went into
where
it was
he
a
was
house
coming.
that was being built, or something like that, right? And he looked at the house, or he went up to it and looked inside of it, or whatever. So I was watching his lawyer talk on CNN, and he was saying like the most that could have happened to him, if anything, would have been not a citation, but you could have, if a cop wanted to be a dick, he could have locked him up for trespass.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck are these two racist crackers? It wasn't number one. It wasn't
even their
number
property.
Two, he didn't steal anything. Number three, how are you playing victim when both of y'all are armed? One with a shotgun and one with a 357, and all he got is his legs and his arms. How are you playing victim? Oh, white people, not white people. Those kind of white people do stupid shit, and I can't stand them motherfuckers that would that. I pray to God that this never happened to me about some citizens arrest shit. Because I'm telling you, I don't care if it's a woman. Get the fuck off me. You're not a cop.
Right.
Even security guards. You can't touch me. Security guards in those stores and Walmart and all that shit, they cannot touch you. They can't touch you. Don't put your fucking hand. I don't care if you think I'm stealing or not. Call a cop. Give them my description. If you get my license plate, you give them that. Once you put your hands on me, I'm fucking you up.
Here's my thing too. I'm tired of the motherfucker crying that took the videotape. You had this tape for 2 months. Now you're saying you ain't had nothing to do with it. What I heard.
No, we
can't. I didn't even see who the person who had it. Who gave them the video.
But he's been going. He's like, my life is being threatened. Yeah, he said my life has been
That's
threatened.
obstruction of justice.
I have to live in my car now. He's basically saying he was working with the cops. No, to my knowledge, he turned it over to say, hey, look, they weren't doing what they were, he turned it over in defense of them. Like, on their defense. Like, oh no, this was just them being a citizen. And in reality, no, this is what really happened. Like, and we all, they viewed it their way with their racist mindset, but we're viewing it like, no, he was running and y'all had no right to shoot him. If y'all was wrestling, y'all wrestled. If you lost the fight, you lost the fight. Let him keep running. That's how
stupid they is.
I hope that because of a lot of stuff that they've already had problems with the GBI, that it does some justice for right now. Because when I'm telling y'all, I know for sure a good, I want to say 4 or 5 cases that were handled by the GBI where people were wrongfully convicted for these cases, right? So, and if not wrongfully convicted, where evidence was mishandled and stuff like that, even with the Atlanta child murders, that had a lot to do with the GBI because they threw evidence out that could have got people in the KKK that probably, and it's ridiculous. So I'm hoping that because of that right now,
to
that they handle
this
a little bit carefully and have it go to the right people. Because when it was, I hope so, because as soon as I said that they picked them up, I was like, they're going to let them out because they keep...
It's in their neck right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's already exposing so many people that did the wrong things from the beginning of the investigation. From the day that it happened, and people that were friends with him because he used to work for the police department.
Yeah, he used to be a police officer.
Right.
See, I don't want... Right. He an asshole, too.
You saw him in the picture with the governor?
To happen to those 2 individuals because I feel like it's just too easy.
I was going to
say
that's too easy.
Give these niggas. No.
And you know they're going to be protected in prison anyway by the
Dylan Roof ain't protected
by the Brotherhood.
Fuck no, he was getting his ass whipped.
Oh, he's not.
He was getting his ass whipped in jail. Yeah. No. Listen, anybody in jail can get touched. whether you Muslim, Aryan Nation, Mexican gang, Asian gang. The money that... If a nigga, if they want to get you, this is worldwide news, right? And I know
this
niggas in jail is niggas in jail is tired of hearing about this shit. You know what I'm saying? He was only 25, and then when the videotape came out, it was a day or two before his 26th birthday. Put these niggas in the worst prison ever. Yeah. Put them in one of the worst prisons. Don't put him in no Fed. Well, he probably do have to go to a Fed, but put him in PC. I mean, General Pop. Put them niggas in General Pop. Let them niggas suffer.
I love watching jail documentaries on Netflix. I'm obsessed with it.
Hey, me too. That's all I watch.
Because it's like it I ain't gonna lie.
Me too.
That's why
I was talking about the GBI.
You know I can't even shit in a girl crib.
The notice shit they go on in jail. You know what? This is a little off topic, but the one show I watched, when they was girls incarcerated. No, not girls incarcerated. It's a different one. But like when they go fishing and they pass shit through the toilet. So I got a couple of jail niggas that I used to talk to, and I'm like, do that really happen? They're like, yeah, like that's real. I'm like, oh my god! Like to me, it's so crazy that they doing these things. But yeah, I'm obsessed with like jail documentaries. Sorry.
I listen to podcasts about that, and I watch the more gruesome ones. I look at like death row inmates and where they go through all the cases that they had and stuff like that. You ever see I'm a Killer?
That's major. All right, y'all. We're gonna take a quick break, man. This is us as a podcast. We'll be right back.
So we're back. Hi. Like we were talking about earlier, Mother's Day and everything. So it kind of sort of, since I didn't get the letter that I was going to read until later, I'm going to do this instead. So I wanted to know what you guys thought about whether or not, when it comes to children, co-parenting relationships, and just period, co-parenting relationships. So in a co-parenting relationship, I wanted to know if your child is under 18, who is responsible for making sure that the parent gets a gift? Should the opposite parent make sure that the other has a gift from the child or period on Mother's or Father's Day? Like if you're not in a relationship and the person is under 18, again, this is the question, are they obligated to get anything as a gift? So what Juan says is that I don't feel like you necessarily have to buy a gift for the person, like something extravagant that you may have gotten when you were together. But I do think that person, the other parent of whatever holiday it is, should be, I don't think for birthdays, maybe not, but like, unless you want to get a card or something, at least the card is the bare minimum. I think giving your child maybe like $20 or something to let them go get something thoughtful type gift, or even to make the other parent something with, if they can't purchase it on their own, would be good too. So I just think that in a situation like that, you would, because some people, I think, because they're not in a relationship with the other parent, they shouldn't buy anything. So I kind of want to know what your thoughts are on that.
I feel like whoever, if the child isn't living with both parents, whoever the child stay with, that parent should make sure that the other parent at least get a card or something. Like, I feel like if my daughter was living with me and Mother's Day came around, I would have to make sure that we went and got her mom a card. Like, I feel like that's my responsibility because, oh wait, you said if he was over 18?
Under.
Oh, under 18. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, she's 12. So, yeah, like, I feel
Under.
I mean, she probably would have her own money, but still, how's she going to get the Rite Aid or CVS or any other place if it's not one near the crib? You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I feel like I would have to be the one who take her to get the card, not, actually paying for it. But if I had to pay for it, I would. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like if the kid is living with one or the other, The mom or
But
the
what if
dad?
she's not living with you? So like your daughter don't live with you all the time.
She don't live with me, and
so you don't do it.
Well, get her mom a card.
You don't help her get something for the mom.
Nope. This is my first year getting her mom a card for Mother's Day.
You don't? Why?
Because I feel like the living situation to me doesn't really matter. I don't. But my answer is a little bit different.
Yeah, me. I don't think it matters either.
I personally feel like one, it's not like for me personally. I don't even need. I think it's also depending on the age. After the age of like 14, most of the kids. I mean, it depends. I give my daughter allowance, so she gets money. So whatever she want to get, she can get. I'm personally like for Christmas, I didn't want to get her dad nothing, but she was adamant about getting them something. So because she asked me, I did it. You know, I complained the whole time getting it. I ain't mind getting her grandparents anything. Right, but because she asked me, and clearly she don't have money to get
she
gifts,
asked you though,
I
right?
did. You know, I got her grandparents' gifts was better because I felt like they do more for her. But I did it because that's what she asked. But I think one, it definitely doesn't matter where she lives because that's not like if the child lives with you more.
So you wasn't gonna do it just for GP.
No, I wasn't. But this is what I'm about to say because
I mean for Christmas,
like for
I don't
me,
really think
I don't
that
even when a niece is a certain age, I don't need a card. I was fine with like if she wrote it, like what I used to teach her to do is like make a card. Like that's what they did when they was younger. Now you're older, you have your own money. I'm going to take you to go do what you want to do. Like her dad never did nothing for me for Mother's Day, but she asked him, so that's why it happened. I think it's really on if your child goes out their way to ask you to support, then you do it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna be like, no, I ain't. You know what I mean? But if she asks me, then I'm gonna do it. But I think at a certain age, you 18 to me is high. I think any child I know over the age of 14 can do what they want on their own. They can get a watch. They can like if they have the money, they can do that. If they don't have the money, like you can't, she can't come to me like, Mom, you're my dad a watch. That's nice.
Right.
That's good. You save up the money to get it? Right. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, with your own money, you can do whatever you want. That's why I told my son, I said, listen, since he wanted to pop fly talking about I don't really need, I can use my own money to get such and such. So you're going to handle whatever I decide to bring towards you. And if you want to take ownership of that. But I told him today going forward, like,
I want her to acknowledge her dad.
Because as long as we teach
young,
you these
they can
things,
be creative.
there's
like,
no reason
when they
why.
were in school, they used to make them, when they're in school, normally it would be in school around the time they would make their little cards, and then she would come home with her card already made for me. Like, that was enough for me because I know that she's young, she don't have money. So I wasn't expecting her dad to get me anything because we're not in a relationship. So he don't have to break his pockets to buy me nothing. And I'm not breaking my pockets.
Just get you a bottle of Henny.
Right. Yeah. I would something like
listen but I just think it's more about
even
at
expensive.
That age when she was younger, Anissa would do creative things and make things for me, and that was what it was. So it was about maybe he was helping her or the grandparents was helping her make it. Like I would help her make a card for her dad. I would come up with ideas with her, but I'm not going out of my pocket because we're not together. For you know what I mean? Now, granted, if he wants to get something for me because he knows how dope of a mom I am, that's cool. But I'm not expecting it because to me, you know what I mean. But I don't agree with slap in the whole.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect anything personally.
That's really random. A kid can live with you, but what if they live with you 5 days out the week and 2 days they go to their house? So you like the living situation. I don't get where you're coming from with that. But I just think in general, when she asked me, I was like I said, for Christmas, I was like, I don't want to give him nothing. He just made me mad. He barely did anything all year. I was very hurt. But she was so adamant that she really wanted to get something for her dad. So I had to just chalk that up. And I gave her a fucking limit. And I'm like, you better find something in this. Yeah, I got mad again. Because I was so hurt because I don't celebrate Christmas. So it's not like she can give me something. I'm like, motherfucker. But
that's why I wouldn't be surprised if Noah was like, "Can you get this Can you get this for me so I can give him? Because
But you know,
Noah
dads get
treats his
get
dad like a baby. Like he is so
oh my God.
concerned.
You know what? But
He is
you know,
so
me and
concerned about
we
his
don't get
feelings.
me and Dior
Like,
mom. We don't get each other shit.
That's me and Lawrence don't.
Like my birthday is before
yeah, I
Dior's mom.
But there's no reason to. That's what I'm saying. It's really, in reality,
But
there's no reason.
But it's from the kid. It's supposed to be from the kid.
But I get that. Here's the thing, though, right? To me, the whole thing with gift giving is not always about the gift itself. At a certain age,
but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the gift itself. I'm talking about just the thought of a gift. Period.
Or like, to me, like I would tell her, like I used to tell Lisa to do things like where to me it was more sentimental when she was younger, and I wasn't like the most I was spending was like $10 because we printed out a picture and something like that. So you know what I mean? But I think I don't know. I'm big on it as a child. She can ask me, but I used to like you get allowance if you want to save your allowance to buy your dad something cool because mind you, it's my money, but it's your money now, right? So I can't bitch about what you do with it. But I was irked about Christmas because I was like,
why you irked about Christmas? You don't even celebrate that shit.
Right. So she made me spend my money to get her dad something. And I'm like, why?
Oh, don't be like that, man. You being petty, man. You being petty.
I wasn't being petty. I was not being petty. I wasn't because my thing is like,
if your daughter wants to buy her dad something, that has nothing to do. It has nothing to do with you and him. It has something to do with how she feel about her dad.
But my issue with him is not because of me and him. My issue is about like if he would say he would do something for her, he wouldn't come through. I'm like, he takes 10 months to get you what he said he was going to get you. Like, but you know, I did it. I did it. They are, but she also, I would say this: as they get older, they start to read through the bullshit, and I'm seeing it now because I'm just saying this. I'm seeing it now because her responses to certain things is like she sees the bullshit, so I don't even got to worry about it. But at the end of the day, I'm all about what the child wants. If the child wants it, all right. But I think 18, I'm not. After 14, you probably got a job. You do not need to be asking me for nothing. Get the fuck out of here. If you catching a bus, you can go get your dad something.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here. Bye. If you need help with ID, I got you. That's all I'm saying. But I appreciate my thoughts.
Well, that's what we had to say about that one. So, y'all got any other input to put in on there? That. Because I mean, you know, that was pretty quick, but we spent a lot of time on the other parts. So we'll let you guys go with Juan Says this week. So you know, write us in, give us some stuff to talk about. You know, give us your quarantine issues. You can send them to us where at www.uncensoredpodcast215@gmail.com. We'll be waiting for those patiently with bated breath. Thank you.
I watched the recent episode of Insecure. So Insecure this season to me has been amazing, and it has been able to dive into
phenomenal.
Oh, sorry. Well, it's the question.
I only watched 2 episodes, but the Michael Jordan shit come on.
Oh yeah, and I haven't been watching it, but it's been diving into relationships, and I have a group of friends that we watch the show with, and we talk about it, whatever. And off this recent episode, we talk about like when you know friendships get into that time where they just become really awkward, and how do you get out of that? But I've noticed, right? Molly exploded, and when she exploded, she talked about all the things that Issa did. Do you ever feel like you get at it with a friend or in a relationship, and then now they want to drop every reason why they was married for the last 10 years? You see what I'm saying? And like, even with like, I have a friend. I want her to write in so bad. I'm waiting for her to write in. We're like, if she calls me about this one situation with one of her boyfriend, and I keep telling her, I'm like, you have to kind of not complain about it, but you need to bring it up now. I said, because I don't want you to wait until you can't take it no more and you explode. And then you're like, well, where the fuck did all this come from? Because I think it's important that, all right, so Molly is upset because she felt, there's some tension. It's so hard for me to talk about it and you not really knowing it, but in a sense
no, talk about it. It's all good. Like, I mean, I just didn't see this last episode.
Okay. I think Molly, everybody's like, Molly ain't shit, but we have to remember, right? There's definitely parts of Issa that has played into why Molly is so upset. You know what I mean? Molly's not upset for no reason. And I think that's very important to state because the way Molly delivered it was inappropriate, timely. Like, if I'm having a birthday and then I made you mad, don't feel like the birthday party is the time for you to have your blow up. You know what I mean? Right. But I get where the blow up was coming from because
that was
it was
very
years
inappropriate.
Of Issa feeling like Issa, because it took Issa a minute to get on her top. And I think it really becomes like when you have a friend that you feel like is just giving you too much, but you haven't told that friend, like, listen, you're giving me too much of your problem and it's way too much on my heart. You know what I mean? And you never had that conversation with your friend, but then you blow up, which I don't think is fair. You know what I mean? Like that's the part of this whole argument I don't think is fair because if Issa had things about her that Molly was becoming frustrated with, she should have been told her. But what she did was she never waited. It's like now all this stuff is happening.
Yeah, it should have blew up.
Like, well, you've been like this. He's like, what the fuck? Because it's like, why now are you saying you've been having these issues with me? Which I think is very important that when you have an issue with somebody, if something happens in that moment, address it. And I don't think we do that in our relationships enough. I don't think we do that in our friendships enough. We're like, you could have been going out to dinner, your girlfriend and they had the money, and it's like, damn girl, every time we go out, you ain't never have money and I pay, which is not a big deal, but after a while that becomes an issue. Where it's like, it's not a big deal, but damn, you never wanted no money. You see what I'm saying? So it's a conversation that needs to happen.
Yeah.
Like, I want you to know, like, I got you, baby girl. Like, stop coming out when you ain't got it. Just say you can't come. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to have that build up where it's like, bitch, okay, now look, bitch, you ain't never paid for dinner the last 6 years. And I ain't never say nothing, but it's like, is it fair that you never say nothing? You know what I mean? Because it's like we want our friends to not do this thing, but we never addressed it. And if we never addressed it, we could be right, but now like the bad guy, right? Because we're exploding on that person. You're exploding on that man. He come over every time, right? And every time he come over, he go through your kitchen, he eat up all your food, but he don't never bring no food in your house. And now you looking like, is that 1 week where your money really funny, and he ate that last, he drank that last little bit of juice, and you trip out on him. But in your head, you like, damn, he do come and drink all my juice. And as a single woman, that's important because whatever's in my house is in my house for a reason. I don't got food stamps, so this shit gotta last. So you can't just be coming over and drinking all my juice. But it's about communicating in the beginning and not letting shit build up. How y'all feel about that?
I felt like I definitely think I'm not. It's hard for me now. This is where it's going to come off bias in my end because I'm not that type of person. I communicate when I feel some type of way about something. I don't sit on it because with me, especially if it's somebody that I care about, I will not rest well if I have something on my heart that I feel about you and I need to get it off. I'm not going to be able to just chill with that. And especially if it's pissing me off, like obviously a whole bunch of stuff built up for Molly for her to come off like that because in the end, when she was talking about all of the stuff that Issa was complaining about her, it was small because most of it was true. But the stuff that she had to say about Issa, not that it wasn't true, but she never said anything. So now she's pissed off to why she couldn't just let her. Because to me, last week, when she didn't want to give the information for him to ask him, I kind of understood it on both ends. Like how, but then when she went around and now it becomes an issue because I asked you, I said I didn't want to have nothing to do with it. Now, what she should have done was probably say, well, how about if I ask whatchamacallit and go and ask him instead of you going to him for it? Because
but I think
maybe it would have gave Molly the
for really
chance
having
to be like, no, I wouldn't like for you to do it that way either. But
But it's also, but my thing is like that's
But
when
that's
it
good.
needed to, like, I understood where Molly was coming from, but I also understood the bigger
in the back
picture.
of Molly's head.
So it's like you can have feelings about something, but if it's in regards to my career, like that particular thing,
yeah,
she should have helped. That was a big moment for Issa. So I get the
feel
point
like
that
she should have helped
always
her
need
with
help.
that. Yeah,
but
like,
in this particular thing, but that's when I'm talking about those small things. But this was, but this was like the straw that was needed. You
that's
know what I
like
mean?
the
Like
one.
she
It was like
needed
the
this straw.
straw that broke the camel's
Like, and it
back
was
at the
like,
wrong
if you
time.
got that type of plug, like
was,
say I've been trying to get into college, right? And y'all,
Yeah.
you got a plug at Temple. I've been trying to get in Temple. That's a major thing in my life. But you envying of me of, damn, Karen will never text me, but she want to text me about this fucking Temple shit. You see what I'm saying? It's like, yes, I get it, but like, if there's any type of love that we ever have, you gotta just sometimes where you gotta put somebody's career over that, but don't let it like, oh, we're gonna have this fucking conversation. You know what I mean? I get, but we need
you
to
maybe that could have been a window for her to really be
because
like, you know,
I'm
gonna do this for you, but I need you to know that part of we need to really talk
then
about
she
this
don't want the
because
pity
this
shit.
is what
But then it was like, at least she got it out.
Right. Because I was starting to think, oh yeah, they made up
I need you to watch
episode
the
and everything will be good, but then I was like, oh
no, I'm watching tonight. I
Damn.
seen last week, the last week episode. That's when she wanted, Issa wanted Molly to, you know, plug her with the ball, right?
I'm trying to tell the episode to be a spoiler, but
so it's kind of crazy because like this where when you say a true friend comes into play, whereas though we might got a beef, right? We might got a beef, but you're not a close friend, but you like a best friend to me, and I know how much this means to you and all that stuff, right? Like Juan said, I'm gonna do this for you, but me and you need to have a conversation
because the conversation never happened.
The conversation never happened. So this is the thing. Like even with relationships, because I personally went through this, whereas though when I was in a relationship and me and my ex, I don't think she always said she ain't on, you know, whatever happened in the past between us, right? But sometimes when we had conversations, some of those things would pop back up. And I just feel like, and I talked about this on the show before, if you don't fully 100% forgive somebody, like in your own mental and inside your body, if I say it to you, if I say, Kyra, I forgive you, and in my mind and in my heart, I know I haven't, any little thing that you do, any little thing that you do might bring me back to, and it's 2020.
That shit's still getting on the nerve,
If I didn't forgive you for something in 2013, 14, and 15, the smallest thing that you did in 2020 that reminded me of 2012 and 13 and 14, I'm going to bring it back up. So it's the communication part is that's one of the hardest things. And women always say, "Oh, I need you to communicate." Where women don't even communicate with each other.
I'm gonna give you that
communicate with each other.
Because I'm horrible.
They don't even communicate with
I
each
would
other.
say that.
Like,
I'm horrible because I don't like the confrontation of it. But I've been learning to figure out how to express myself, and I take ownership because I don't always be the best friend that I can be to people. So I can own when I fuck up. And I hope that I try to just show you that it's not out of, like I always tell people, charge my mind and my heart. Is that, you know what I mean? I always say that because that's very true about the person that I am. You know what I mean? With my family, but I have to grow up at some point.
Exactly. I was about to say that. Like, how many times can you tell me?
You're right.
Like, I love you and all.
Right. Like how many times can we be like,
we're not gonna do this because I can also go back
such and such and such, and then you don't answer for
I need y'all
days.
to
and then because you don't like the text.
No.
How many times do we have to want to record on Wednesdays at 7 o'clock, but you don't want to because you need to be on by 8?
Monday and Tuesday. She totally forget.
I want to know how many times I told y'all to post more on Instagram and y'all don't. But I'm not gonna say nothing else.
Hey, I ain't take my game.
But I'm not gonna say nothing else. And I told you to post on your page, but I'm not gonna say nothing else because you got a lot of followers. But I'm just saying. But we communicate.
Listen, this show we not about petty stuff. We just communicate. We communicate, right?
Because they need
at the end of the day, like if
I brought it back.
If you my real friend, like me and you, Kyra, we get into it a lot, but we get into it a lot because you got my best interest at heart. Whereas though you don't mind telling me the honest to God truth.
And
right?
you be mad, and I'll be like, mad, but oh well.
But see, at the end of the day, like no relationship is perfect, no friendship is perfect, not even a business partnership is perfect. Because we all got different ideas, we all got different mindsets, and we all got different things.
But you know what?
So sometimes we can't come together, and people don't know how to compromise.
But I want to say this: it's actually, and this is very weird to say, I feel like it's easier to do that with people you just meet than it is with your long-standing friendships.
Yeah, because if you stop talking to me,
I really don't give a fuck. Not saying like I don't give a fuck, but like you see them being you're a more new person in my life. Where like if you that long-standing friendship,
me?
Oh, like
I'm about to say, nigga, I know you.
You did, but I'm talking about my longer friendship. You see what I'm saying? Like from
if it's
back in college.
But that's like you know what? But that's probably because you never. No, that's probably because you never had to. You never had to say that, and then once you do say that, now they looking at you. Oh, you brand new. No. I'm still your friend, nigga.
True.
It's just that
they never met.
I've never.
My friendship. I feel like my older friendships. I'm like they're more relaxed because we've been through things, but it's just like they didn't happen, and we friends again. You say that we like that's how all my friendships were for so long. Like. More recently, I'm more like, okay, this is too much. But it's like I can't always do that with my older friendships because they just come differently. They come with a different load of I don't want
necessary
to lose them. I don't want them to be there. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just different. But I get you.
You're not gonna lose a good friend because you telling me the truth. If you telling me the truth and you lost me, I was never your friend. And I'm never gonna have good friends because number one, I know how to deal with the truth. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to deal with accountability. You know what I mean? So those things they come into play. So I understand. I didn't understand Molly's twist on that last episode because I'm looking at the TV like, bitch, what the fuck did you just say? Like, I can't do this for you.
I understood the whole point of because her and Andrew just got on good terms. So I understood that point because this is what I argue with my girlfriend, right? Listen,
nigga, man.
I get that, right? But when you, as a single black woman, right? When you finally find somebody that you feel like you've been looking for, right? You don't want to mess that up for your fucking friends, which normally can happen, right? So I understood that. I did argue this point where like sometimes you have to keep your friendships, certain areas of your friendship separate. And her and Andrew just had that big fight. So that was part of it, right? And mind you, Molly was trying to tell Issa about what was going on with her and Andrew, but Issa came straight up with the question. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if me and my mate is on a rocky path, but now you want me to ask him to do you a favor, it's really not the time to do that. So I got her reasoning. Now, I don't want to give the spoiler of what happened after that, but like I said, in that moment, I understood where Molly was coming from with trying to protect her relationship.
But Kyra,
with Andrew. Now I'm saying it was okay, but I understood if that was the reason why. But that wasn't the reason why. You see what I'm saying?
But listen, we talking about Molly. Molly is what's the white girl name from Sex and the City that was always fucking everybody? Juan.
That she is not Samantha. Do not say she is Samantha. She is
not.
not. No.
She's not Samantha.
No.
Samantha.
Okay.
No.
Hold on. Okay. If we could name anybody
Molly?
from Insecure,
no, she's not as
that
bad
would
as
be
Samantha.
closest to Samantha, which character would we name? Who would be Samantha?
Kelly.
Fuck no.
What? Kelly is the yes. Kelly is the more
No,
I think Kelly has a good job.
All of them. Kelly would fuck somebody more randomly.
Yes. Kelly has all the jokes.
Yeah, you might be
She's
right.
lighthearted. I trust me because I relate to Kelly in certain ways and I relate to Samantha in certain ways. So I would easily say Kelly and Samantha. Easy. Molly is actually like not oh my god, the one with the short red hair.
Oh,
Miranda.
yes.
Like, that's who she is.
Yeah, you're right.
Miranda. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. Molly is a lot like, but because all of them in all actuality, except for Mary, they all end up having sex with one night stands, doing that all the time.
Miranda was a lawyer.
Actually, Molly
Miranda
is exactly Miranda because
Miranda thought she knew it all.
Miranda is a lawyer too.
Molly thinks she knew it all. Miranda had horrible relationships just like Molly. When you look at Issa is like Carrie, Kelly is they're all the same. Tiffany is just like Shirley. Prissy in a relationship. Like, oh, trust me, I already did that math. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you know what? I ain't even really look at
Lawrence
them like that. Is Lawrence say that this is becoming like a black version of Sex and the City?
And he's Mr. Big in a different way, like the man that she's always supposed to be with.
I don't know why Lawrence is still insecure.
Mr. Big?
Because
in a different, definitely in a different way.
He's in the friend. But
I'm sure they're gonna end up being together again.
That's why that dynamic
or at least have
every show. If you go to Girlfriend, that same dynamic is on there. There's that one friend. That's because you're showing a different aspect of women and how women are. You know what I mean? That's why. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go back and look at the other seasons, you can definitely feel the growth of the writers in this season right here. Because usually with the first episode might not be. It's like a build up. Like it'll be okay.
Because number one,
it's like that was all right, and then it gets good, and then
And you got other shows that's an hour, and this show is 30 minutes. And I like how I'm as a fan of the show, we always want more. Yeah. But I see how they get us to come back because it's only 30 minutes. Like you know how it is with Power. Like, we can't wait till next week. And Power is an hour show, right? Power is an hour show, right? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like I love the job that they're doing Insecure. I love the writing. If I'm not mad about something and not mad because not doing it. Not that the writing sucks. I'm just mad like, oh, this shit, like you're actually making me mad.
If you're mad at Molly, she's doing what she's supposed to be doing.
Exactly. And I was already mad at her. I was already mad at her.
No, not yet, but I'm about to, so don't talk
about it. You know who did that to me? Did y'all watch Little Fires Everywhere?
Bitches wasn't
Girl, let me tell you something.
Hulu. Now
I don't have my own. I'm using somebody else's too.
Hulu is the only thing I don't.
I'm serious. I don't pay for Hulu.
I use everybody else's shit too. I got my sister, my brother, I got my baby.
I don't pay for none of my cable stuff. I use my cousin's stuff. I mean, my cousin. That joint.
That white girl.
Reese Witherspoon make you want to beat her ass.
I was like, shit, I'm gonna give her. What black girl we can get rid of?
You love who?
Stop by what?
I didn't watch it yet. I don't want to know spoilers.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Some of it. All right. So listen, since we was on the,
I'm binging, so we can talk about it next week.
No, yeah. Because we're gonna take a break.
It's good.
No, just go in.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break. So, do you guys know?
We over.
Since we were talking about Molly and Issa and how they handle certain situations, I feel like some of those situations are character flaws and within themselves and with their friendships. So do you guys know and can you identify what your character flaws are in friendship, relationships, situationships, at the job, whatever?
Good one. Okay, I'll definitely go first. I mean, I am definitely, as much as people want to say that I'm a social person and they think I have this big person, I don't like conflict the way I don't like conflict in my friendships. I don't. As much as people probably think that I do. That's why I actually got on to, like, I can debate with somebody, but personal conflicts with my friends, I'm not big on. I'm not the best communicator of how I'm feeling. And I also don't think I'm not vulnerable enough with either my friendships. I don't show how much I love people enough. Like, I know I love all my friends, but I don't think they see it enough. So, it's weird because I tell people all the time, like, people think, I'm social to them, but Geminis we're loners at heart. Like, people don't understand it. So I definitely get very self-absorbed. Like, it's all about me in a way, but it's not. But yeah, I'm definitely a little self-absorbed in the sense of, like, not showing.
Oh man.
Yeah, self-absorbed and not showing
Slap fell off of
I am, how much I love my friendships. Like that. I definitely don't show how much I love my friendships.
All right, so sorry guys, we had a little technical
quarantine.
Blame it on the Rona.
The Rona took over our bullshit. So I don't know. So I'm gonna reiterate the question. I'm gonna say the question.
We talking about my flaws,
your character. Can you identify and understand? Yeah, I know you saying something about you being a loner and stuff like that.
Yeah, and just really, I think I need to do a better job of expressing my love to my girlfriend. I think a lot of my friends and family know that I do. I think I need to show it more as a friend in different ways. I always wonder, like, this is a weird thing, and I always wonder, like, what was somebody gonna say about at my funeral? You know what I mean? Like, what?
And you can't talk at your janaza though.
You can't. But I'm just saying,
you can't. I didn't even know that.
Fuck no.
At my repast,
I just realized that nobody ever did that.
At my repast.
Oh, I ain't never been to a Muslim repast. I ain't know they had repast.
My mom is having a repast for me. Like, it's a celebration. But no, seriously, I always wondered, like, I know my friends love me, but I always wonder, like, because they don't really tell me. Like, I have one girlfriend who's very open. I think out of all my girlfriends, she communicates the best to me, like my flaws and my strengths. My girlfriend Bianca, she is younger than me, but she has been, I think she's one of them friends that came in my life that I think elevated me as a person. Now, I can take nothing away from my other girlfriends, but Bianca has this spirit about her. Like, she really taught me how to be a better person. She was like, y'all Philly people just don't support each other the way y'all should. And she's right. Like,
fact.
She really, like, coming from DC and her African background, like, she hands down is, I will say, the most influential friend that I have. Where, like, if it's about my podcast, is it about where I want to be in life? If it's about, but she's also my turn-up partner, like, true life, like, and that's the crazy thing about it, because, like, I tell people this all the time, like, in my friendships, I'm the part, like, you would think I would hang with a whole bunch of girls that turn up with me. No, my friends don't like taking pictures. They don't like all the shit I like to do. My friends don't like to do. It's so weird. The friends.
So who was the people that you be with when you be doing?
I don't know.
They're not your friends.
You be with. But, like, when I think about like who would be in my wedding party, like my best girlfriends, Bianca probably is the closest one to me, and I met her recently. She was the latest friend that added on her.
It's gonna be Bianca, Ed, Robin, and I don't know the other two.
Mina and Jessica. You met them. They came to the game night.
Oh, definitely Mina, for sure.
And then my girlfriend Jessica.
She's crazy as shit.
I would say.
Oh, I fuck with Jessica too.
Yes,
I met her too.
Jessica
right?
is our number one fan. Like she listens to the show, she be like, "I want to be." She's like, "Can I just be in the studio when y'all recording?" So that's why I was saying. Like, I wish that we could start getting our fans on to come with us because they really want to be a part of our conversation, especially the ones that really.
Well, we can add them, especially.
And I think we should start doing that because a lot of them that really live, like Jessica would play us at work and listen to us, and then she will call me the next day to talk about the episode with me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So. But I think me and Jessica's friendship has even evolved in a more deeper level than it started. It was I think a lot of our friendships were very superficial. That's a good word. I think a lot of my friendships in the beginning were very superficial. But Bianca showed me a lot. And she's a friend. I'm just so happy that she's in my life. But because she just showed me like a different way that people are that I didn't meet in Philadelphia. Like she definitely is that person that just needs to be in your life. So, you learn a lot from the people around you, but I know that there's definitely things that I needed to work on. And I think a lot of it is just about me communicating more with my girlfriends. But I don't know. I also feel like I want people to tell me what I'm doing wrong, but I don't get a lot of feedback about myself, which is frustrating. I don't get feedback at my job. I don't really get negative feedback. Besides the fact that I party too much, and it's like, what else do y'all want from me? God damn.
So. Wow, what's your characteristic flaw? You better say the first thing we all know.
I don't know what you're talking about. But I don't. That just really started happening.
Get the fuck out of it.
It did over the last couple of years or so.
The what?
The last couple of years.
So that means it didn't just start happening. That shit happened like 3-4 years ago.
Well, I mean, like I've always had a kind of a like it's not that sometimes I just need a little bit of a refresher to remember.
Now if I tell you on fucking
calm down, it don't happen. If I
tell you on Saturday and come Monday, you fucking forget. That's
anyway.
Bad.
This is so listen. One thing I definitely know is I'm okay with communicating and telling people how I feel about stuff. However, I don't know how to deal with people when they lose people, like dealing with death and stuff like that. I am so like I will let you know that I'm here for you, and I'll tell you, give you my condolences. But other than me telling you that, unless you come to me, I don't know what to do. Like I'm like frozen when it comes to that. I'll definitely say, tell you whatever I can via text or call you or something like that. But unless you specifically because for me personally, when I have had to deal with something like that, I don't necessarily want to be. I don't want, but so many people like just being around. I don't need you to come and sit with me like that unless I tell you to. So to me, when it's on the other end, when I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do because I'm expecting people to think like I do when I don't really know how you feel about it.
So is it like being supportive
or don't want to be bothered?
Like how to show support?
I'll support you, but I'll just let you know. You got to let me know what you want me to do because I tell people all the time like I really don't know what to say, but I'm here for you. If you need me, I'm here.
I feel like that's big on a lot of people. Like grief is hard for. I would say like 90% of the, you know what I mean? Because grief is something that you can't.
It's very vulnerable.
So I think that's just a hard thing for a lot of people.
Vulnerability, I guess. Yeah, and then on top of that, and I can be very prideful in a lot of ways. I was going to
say, can you be too? If you say that you're can you over communicate?
If I do, I only communicate well with people who I feel like I can trust with everything I have to say. Now, I mean, I'm not like how I used to. I used to be really bad with sharing information with people who ain't asked me for my fucking opinion. Like I used to be really, really bad.
That's what I meant.
Like it took me a long time. A lot of I don't do that now. I don't unless you I'll be like, do you want me? Especially if I feel like I'm like, are you asking me because you want to talk to me? You just need to talk because I don't have to respond to whatever you have to say. But if you want me to give you, if you're calling me because you need me to give you a response or something, then I'll give it to you. And I'll be like, you may not like it, so don't like think that I'm gonna be biased or anything. Like, because most people, I think they ask me for that reason. But aside from that, like, no, I don't feel like I overshare anymore. But I definitely used to be like that. But with the pride stuff, like me going through the issues that I went through, like recently and even before that, it helped me to be able to deal more so this time around than it was years ago. Because when I was younger, I got a lot of stuff very early in my adulthood, and I didn't know how to act
Meaning
with
your
that shit.
period and your
And it
breath.
wasn't until I became yeah. So when I got older and I got hit with downfalls, it made it. I was just like, I don't know what to do with like I was losing my mind at one point. Took some humble pie to make me really get into developing to like, how I look at things today. But that was a lot of pride, and I don't start with that anymore, especially with my friends. And that's why I'm still friends with the same people who I am today that I became friends with, aside from my cousins, my family members. Like most of my friends, my close friends that y'all would meet are all friends that I've made within the past 20 years. And that's it. And a lot of them is just became friends within the past 6. Well, 2 of them, but yeah, that's it. What's yours?
You
So
always gonna be extra as fuck. Hyping shit with his pen and pad. I'm a writer.
This is a bad pen. I ain't let nobody touch.
That's a
I
nice.
don't know
That's a
what this
gel
shit is,
ink
but I ain't
pen.
let nobody touch this. This shit staying home. So all right. So dealing with death was hard for me at one point in time, but now I think I know how to handle it. So I know to reach out to my friends. Like I reached out to Juan yesterday because I knew it was Mother's Day, and I knew it. I knew if I didn't know, but I didn't. I kind of felt like, all right, this might be a bad day for her. So and I hit out, yo, Juan, if you ain't doing nothing, come through. You know what I'm saying? So the death thing was something I didn't know how to deal with, but I do know how to deal with now. And I try to reach out to anybody who lost a parent when that time comes around, Mother's Day or Father's Day. But the characteristic flaws of mine is definitely being prideful and being stubborn. And sometimes they go hand in hand because sometimes I might need a couple dollars, but I'm not gonna ask you. I'm not gonna really ask you for it. I would go without it and just deal with the fact that I ain't got it, I ain't gonna eat or something like that. I mean, that's just me. Yeah, that's a flaw, and sometimes I'm working on that. And I think I have worked on that. Whereas though, like, I'm human at the end of the day, and it's okay because if I'm asking a friend, if I'm asking one of y'all, and y'all know I don't ask for certain things,
you need it.
If I ask, y'all know.
Right.
If I ain't asking in a joking manner, I really need it. And it took me a long time to understand, like, your real and true and good friends will not judge you because they know you, they know your character, and they know you're only asking because you need it. Accountability is one of my flaws, and that is one of my flaws because being a single guy and then being a guy who was in a relationship and who did do some cheating back in the day, I just felt like when there were times I was telling the truth, I still got blamed for lying, right? And this is another flaw of mine, which was being selfish. I just felt like, okay, if I'm telling you the truth and you think I'm lying, I'm just keep fucking lying to you. No. I'm just gonna keep lying because it's a lose-lose. I just felt like, to me, it was a lose-lose thing. Because when I'm lying, of course you don't believe me. But when I'm telling the truth, you still think I'm lying. So, like, what the fuck am I going to actually What am I going to actually tell you the truth for? Where you're going to think that I'm lying? You know what I'm saying? So I think those were my biggest flaws, especially in relationships. I didn't know how to separate certain things. Like I always said, I never put myself in the other person's shoes or position, and I never looked at how it would affect me if a girl was just as outgoing as me and had a bunch of inside jokes. But see, I'm different because inside jokes don't bother me. They don't bother.
But it's like you said, putting yourself in these shoes, because I'm the same way.
Right.
And me and you are very similar in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So,
but like I don't put myself like I'm like, damn, like what you mad at? Like I'm mad at you for being mad about something that you shouldn't be mad about.
Right. So,
but now coming into it like trying to be more understanding, trying to be more vulnerable is things that like a guy told me like I'm never vulnerable enough, because I'm like
I'm not.
You know what I mean?
Vulnerability is a very,
but it's also
and I'm this is what
we're just that sign is not like that. So it's hard to get that.
I don't know what my sign is or not, but that's why I feel like I need that. I mean, I still haven't done it yet. I don't know real reason because I have insurance to do so, but with the counseling and stuff to deal with grief that I've had, because I personally do not know how to handle being that vulnerable and how vulnerable you become when you lose somebody that close to you. Like it was hard for me to grieve because I couldn't.
Wow, listen,
I was so busy trying not to let go.
When I lost, and please, I'm not even trying to. I don't want to disrespect you when I say this. Yeah, I don't want to disrespect you when I'm saying this, because I know a mother and a girlfriend are on two different levels, way different levels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna just say this: I kind of know what you felt. Like losing somebody that you love, and it was
right.
I didn't know how to deal with that. You know what I mean? I didn't know how to deal with that. And as a man, it's hard. It's different for men, because when we become vulnerable, we feel like we're weak, and you got to get that out your mind. Like being vulnerable is just you're being human. I only been vulnerable around one female, and when I say vulnerable, I mean actually cried boo-hoo fucking tears. Whereas though I didn't mind being that individual, because I know I wasn't going to get judged. And I know I wouldn't even get judged around y'all. Right. But I feel like it's me and it's y'all too. I need y'all to always see me to be in that strong individual, because I'm the guy and the man in the group, and y'all always need to see me strong. That's just how I was raised, because I've only seen my dad cry like maybe twice in my life. I'm 36, and those two times were at funerals. So those are times that you are expected to see somebody cry. You know what I'm saying? So vulnerability is hard for black men. You got to be vulnerable to even go see a fucking therapist to tell them your dark, deepest fucking secrets in the past, and the shit that you've been through, and the people that you've been with. So some people are not able to look in the mirror and write down their characteristic flaws. I know all of them. I know all mine, and I play too much. And I felt like
I probably play too much.
Me playing too much, honest to God, truth, is like a defense mechanism of me not wanting to be serious. Listen, when I watch certain shit, I tear up. It's good to understand, know what your flaws are, accept what they are, try to change them if they're bad for you and the person you're dealing with, or your friends or your family members. We want to give a big shout out to everybody that listen, watch, to our page, follow, like, and subscribe our YouTube page, follow our Instagram page, follow our Facebook page. Shout out to our sponsor, Love Jones. We love you. Happy Mother's Day to you. Shout out to Water Ice Radio. This is the Uncensored Podcast. I'm Slap Rock the King. More wine is in the building. A little honey is over there. All right, y'all. We out, and we see y'all next week. One love.